Testing, testing. Testing my mic, testing my mic. The mic is good. Yeah, what's up, Cody? Yeah. Interesting. Alright, I haven't played Final Fantasy XIV in a long time, so I've spent the last half hour just trying to... Unfortunately, it's not one of those games where if you uninstall it from Steam and then you reinstall it, or maybe I went through and deleted my folders off my documents folder section on the C drive. I don't know, but when I logged back in and reinstalled the game, everything was reset. Like all my settings, like everything was completely wiped. I haven't played this game in probably a couple years, so you know, obviously no keybinds, no nothing. I will have to log out to show you. I believe the server is Fairy, I think. Let me log back. Let's see. So Genova. So if we go to world, so I'm on, I guess, Ether. Is that right? No, I'm on Genova. That's the world, I guess, right? Yeah, let's try something. Yeah, so I'm on Genova. Is the server? Is this the? I'm on Genova. I don't know what group that's in. Oh, it's the bottom right. Oh, you said the bottom right when I was logged in. Did it say it? Okay, let's find out. How do I log in? Log in with Meadow. Actually, the servers have been. There's been a queue. Like every time I try to go in, you can see there's a queue. This is a pretty small queue, but. Total days subscribed. That's kind of cool that they show that. Like the total days you've been subscribed to the game for me, 270. So not a lot, obviously. But yeah, yeah, new expansion dropped. Oh yeah, Genova. Do you count the was 900? So, oh man, I got a headache. Where's my Advil? 900. But yeah, so like, do you know? Hey, I have a. So like, Cody, like, are these bars like? Why are these not locked? How do you lock your action bars? Like, see how I can grab my action bar and move it? How do I lock these? lock it? There's luck button on your bar? Oh, it's on bar 1. Oh. Yeah, which I have disabled. So if I go to bar 1 and show it, then I have to lock. So basically what I can do is I can lock this. Yeah, now let's see if that works. Okay, that doesn't work. That didn't. Left side of your, no. That all that does, I think, is lock the stuff on the bar. I mean, I want to lock the fact that I can move it around. I don't want to move it around. I don't want to. What's going on? Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. Maybe it's like, is there like a lock UI overall where you just lock everything, maybe? Let's see. System keybind. Shit. Character configuration hotbar. It's hide numbers and cycling. Character configuration hotbars. Lots. Sure, why not? Hotbars, hide numbers and cycling. Hide, play hotbar numbers, enable hotbar cycling. Why? That's it. See, now you can't see. Now you can't grab it. So So that fixes that. Yeah. Yeah, I had to Google it too. I found it by Googling it. So if we go into HUD, so now we can move this to the right spot. Right? Wonky, but now, will it still... Oh, but now I can't move stuff. So now it's like completely locked. So I think I have to go to HUD layout. I don't know. Here to configuration, and I just think I need to maybe just do that. No, that doesn't do it either. Then how about HUD layout and this one? I think it's just that, right? Yeah, okay, cool. And configuration. Alright. Okay, so D is... This is where streaming comes in handy, because if it wasn't for the fact that I had streamed this game, I would have no idea where my abilities were on my bars and what my keybinds were that I used. Yeah, I would have no idea. But now, because I've got... I literally have about 30... No, not 30. I have about 20 tabs in Chrome open, and each one of those tabs is a different stream of me playing Final Fantasy. So I can see, like... And I've actually found in those streams where I configured my UI and where I was configuring keybinds. So I can actually look at it and say, oh, this is what my keybind was, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if it wasn't for that, I'd just be kind of lost. Alright, so let's see, we've got... This one should be... this ability. And let's see, this one... What is this anyway? Shirk. Versus enmity to target party members. What is that keybind? Oh, I think that's Control D. I think that keybind is right. So, where's keybind? Shift Q. D, X. It should be D, X. Oh, that's right. Shift Q. And then Control D. And then those keybinds are all fucked up. Oh, that's hotbar 3. Yeah. And there's stuff like this. What is this? Iron Will. Is this like a buff or something? I don't even... Oh man, I've got a... Hold on a second. Yeah, that's actually way over here. Why is that bar not available? Oh, did I just did I just discard those keybinds? Fuck me. Fuck me, I hit the wrong key. I hit the wrong button. Oh my god. Alright, so D, X, Shift Q, and then Shift Q, and then this one should be controlled. Hotbar. This one. Alright, yeah. Then R, don't know. R, don't know. 50, I think that's correct. And S, that's correct. Okay, fine. Keybind settings updated. Hotbar 5. Yeah, see, it wasn't enabled. Hotbar 6. Hotbar 6 enabled. Okay. This goes here. There's another weird ability which I don't... I'm just trying to find these things and figure out where the hell they go. It's how you get aggro. Oh, this one? Yeah. So this is like way over here. I've got most of my abilities are on the bars. I think this is correct. That's correct. What's this skill here? I gotta figure out where this goes. Okay, this one. Okay, this one goes here, but apparently that bar is not active. So HUD layout, hotbar 3, active. Okay. This guy. I can't even tell what this letter is. Oh man. What are these abilities and why are they here? What is this? Return. You think I'd have return somewhere in my bars, but I'm looking at my other screen. Oh, I do. It's actually over here. Alright, let's go back to HUD. Yeah, hotbar 4 needs to be enabled. Yeah, hotbar 7 needs to be enabled. Teleport. I don't know where teleport goes. I don't even see it on my bars. What's this play guide? This is not even on a bar, but we'll just toss it over here. Sprint. Dude, I don't see this anywhere on my screen. Oh wait, no, yeah, I do. It's right here. All right, we're getting close. And this guy goes here. This one goes here, and then this. All right, I think that is. Now I just got to set up these keybinds. We're getting close. Let's see, keybinds. And this is bar. I don't know which bar. This is bar. Don't know which one it is. This one here. I think it's 7. Maybe. We're gonna have to. It is 3. How bar 3? I remember the first time I played. Yeah, no, I don't want to increase the size, really. I mean, I actually reduced the size. These are set to like 80% in size. I mean, once they're set, although it may be good to set them larger right now just because I'm not used to what my binds are. And then once I get them down to where I don't even, I know what they are, maybe then I'll well, let's see how, then I'll shrink it up. Let's see how big it makes it. But normally I run these at 80%, so let's go ahead and knock it up to 90. It is a little bit bigger. I think we could probably do with 90%, just until I get a little bit more comfortable with these. And actually, it looks like even at 90%, it fits. So let's go here. So this does fit here, okay. They actually fit in here perfectly. So there you go. So that's a little bigger, right? Okay, so how do I turn off that annoying... How do I turn off this annoying beep, 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 beep sound? We definitely don't want to hear that, So we got to figure out how to turn that off, right? Here, again, we're just going to Google this stuff. How do I turn off the sound in Final Fantasy XIV when you click a skill that is not ready? Character config, log window, check display, recast time error, hit /action error. You did, but I can't remember how. Character config. I think it would be under. Display error message when actions fail. It's got to be under sound, right? System configuration. You think that would be under sound? Play sounds when window is not active. Play. I want to try something. Okay. Oh, there it is. Hey, thanks, Cody. Thank you, Cody. Let me go back. So yeah, and then you know, when you're streaming, a really important thing is this: play sounds in background. Basically, is what that is. That means when I click on another window and I'm doing stuff, I can still hear all the game sound. So you said it's in character config, log window settings. I was actually just there. General tab. Then just don't check anything that says error message. Error message. Error message. But that doesn't. That's probably not going to fix the sound, right? So we're still getting invalid target. That's annoying as F. I don't mind saying. Stop sound when spamming in the line. Turn off altitude errors too on front audio. Where is it at? Notice up hearing the annoying sound plays when you're spamming your skills. This toggle will turn this error message off. What toggle? This toggle. What toggle? Finally, a useful PSA. What the fuck's public service announcement? First thing I was looking for. I always thought streamers haven't disabled that sound and their chat is just raging at them to turn it off. Yeah, but how do I turn it off? Where is it at? Or you just turn your system sounds down to 0 to eliminate a wide variety of unnecessary annoying sounds. So it's got to be under sounds, right? It doesn't get rid of the sound, though. Cody, that did not get rid of the sound. And if we go back to character configuration, log window settings, look, I turned off display error messages. I turned off display recast time error message, display altitude. I turned these all off, but I still hear I'm still hearing the sound. So that does not fix it. Here, oh wait, notification sounds. No, it's not in there. What the hell is it? And this guy's like, oh, here we go. We got to click the stupid image. It's under character display error messages when actions fail. I did that already. Still there. Still there. Okay, it doesn't. You still hear the click. Click, 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 click. How the F, man? Even if we have nothing selected. That is annoying. Here, let's do this. Maybe we can find a YouTube video. Final Fantasy 14 disable annoying sounds when no target. I don't know. Saving annoying notification sounds. Save spell effect. Action air off. So you actually have to run a command. Action air off. That doesn't do it. This fucking doesn't do it. I turn system sounds off, and believe me, you will get used to not having the rest. But this is so much nicer in yours. That person just turned system sound off, right?
Huge to get in your way, so you know this is new. Figure out how you want it, and apply all. Applies that value. Self-explanatory stuff in there.
Performance settings. How old is this video? Oh, 1 year ago. I probably should watch this video, but not right now. I love those Final Fantasy, like, super crazy particle effects, right? What is S? Oh, this is my shield. Is that really what I had S? I guess maybe I did. Maybe I did. Is there any way to change the camera? Let's see. System configure. Is there a camera in here? Play settings. Resolution. I'm a badass paladin, huh? What is this? It says, take all damage intended for another party member as long as said members are within 10 yards. Does not activate with certain attacks. Take all damage intended for another. Do I have to... Why is there a number on it, like 50? Oath gauge cost. Okay, oath gauge cost 50. Do I have to target them, I wonder? Like, cover. Maybe I target them and then cast this. That's a pretty cool ability. I need to... put a keybind on this. Let's do, what do you think? Let's do keybinds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit. We don't have that one keybind either. R3 stop 1 should be shift X. Set focus target. We might. How about? I like that. I like shift F. Focus target. Set focus target. How often are we actually going to be using set focus target? I don't know. I'll be using this a lot more, so. Layout, minimap, settings, limit size. There we go, 110%. Hell yeah! Okay, we've got status info other. This one. Here. Duty list. And party list. This enmity list. List. Scenario guide. Game guide. What's the limit gauge? I don't remember what limit gauge is. I think this is. Yeah, put this down there. Status info enhancements. Cool. Focus target. The one thing that, the one thing with Final Fantasy that always threw me off was that it's like there's so much particle. I'm not a big fan of all the particle effects stuff. What is this oath gauge unlock shit? And what is this thing? Yeah, I don't care. Go away. Like all the particle effects they're too glitzy. Like if there's a lot of people on the screen doing a bunch of abilities, it's like you have no idea what anybody's doing. There's just shit all over the screen, like particles and spell animations, and it's way too much. And that's why I think World of Warcraft, one of the things that's really good about the animations in WoW is for PvP purposes. If someone's casting, like a perfect example is if a mage in WoW casts Frostbolt, it's super easy to see, hey, he's casting Frostbolt, which is great because it's a great way for PvP to be able to counter. It's like, oh, he's casting Frostbolt, or maybe, Hunter feigns death. The animations are simple and easy to discern. Guild Wars 2 has the same problem with this, but it's not as bad as Final Fantasy. But it also has animations that can be a little bit over the top. I wouldn't want to turn them down, but I wouldn't want to turn them off, but I would probably prefer to turn them down. I don't know how to do that. Let's see. Let's go back to our handy-dandy browser window. Final Fantasy scale down player animations or particle effects. You can partial effects. Oh, this is pretty cool. They've got a macro for like raids, which is pretty cool, right? Character figure control settings, character battle effects settings. Okay. Character figure control settings, character battle effects, show limited, party show limited. Yeah, I just found it. Show limited? Oh, how about show none would be kind of crazy. Let's just do show limited. Others, show limited. PvP. PvP bonus all. I think we'll leave that okay. Let's see what difference this makes. What's this do? Significant increase in generation. How long does this last? Whoa, how long does that last? I guess it's just on all the time, right? And then you have to click it again to turn it off, I would imagine. Go to this is hotbar 5. I'm gonna go to keybinder hotbar 5. See? Now we're sprinting. We are sprinting! How long does it last? 15 to 20 seconds? Yeah, it's a toggle, yeah. I'm gonna zoom out. Oh yeah, yeah, so that significantly, hey Cody, that significantly reduced the particle effects. You couldn't, I didn't even hardly have any particle effects. I would say that it almost scales them down too much, and it would be nice to actually have a slider. You know, like, it would be nice to have a slider, I think, on that, because it's like it really took away all the animations. And actually, I like especially if you're like the tank, because I'm like, my character's like a tank. If I'm like the tank, I think people would want to see some of my animations, although I don't know if what was it, character... Party. I wonder if I have to have mine turned to none. That's just for me, so somebody else could still see me. And what I'm talking about is, let's do this, is that when I cast this ability here, this Sheltron, you know, other people are going to want to see that, because they're going to be like, oh, hey, the tank's got his mega shield up. I can stand behind him and get some protection. So. I'm talking about this ability here. You know, people be like, oh yeah. Look, I've got paralysis debuff. The paralysis debuff. Okay, so, oh, how do I? Ooh, this is weird. How does it? Why does it not scale this to the size of the window? That's kind of annoying. There we go. Let's try this. Maybe we can match it. What is this thing? A little janky, huh? Very janky map. How this didn't tell me any. Oh, here. This is where I am, right? Right? Is this where I am? Or this is where I need to go. I don't remember how to move around. Yeah, yeah. I think you're right, Cody. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to travel this world anymore because it's been too long since I played this game. Holy crap! This map is fucked up. Is there a way to? How do you get this to stay the same size as the size of the window? Oh wait, now it's doing it. Why wasn't it doing it before? It's just this one doesn't do it, I guess. For some weird reason. Lock map so it cannot be closed by pressing the escape key. Yeah, this map's annoying as hell. Okay, maybe it's when it's maxed? Oh, see, now that's broken. Oh, wait, no. Fuck it. This map is annoying, I'm not gonna lie. That is a really annoying map. I think when I first played Final Fantasy, the thing that was the most annoying was just navigating the world. Like navigating like cities and navigating the world was such a pain because the game's so old and it was meant to run like on a if you press J then click the map. Oh, okay. I think it's this one. Okay, so that's where I need to go. But I can't transport there, so like I literally don't know how to like travel around this map. I don't even know how to use my mount. Let's see, where's my mount at? Travel. What's this? Mount speed. Don't even, okay, I don't, whatever, that's something else entirely. Party social system. I'm just looking for like, where's my mount? These are like crafting log. This is gathering log. This is my hunting log. I don't remember how that works either. I don't remember how half this shit works. Here's the duty finder. I don't know what you mean menu, then click out. See the red circle? Yeah, I see. Oh. Ooh. There you go. Yeah, there you go. This companion, mount guide. Wait, companion. Here we go. Summon. A leafy vegetable. Go. And this is, I don't know what that bar that was. It was hot bar 6 or 7. This one's Z. How was that? That's not what I wanted. Hold on a second. Did that wrong. Why is it bouncing back? Oh, I forgot. It's because it's the way these bars are set up. Yeah. Yeah, that's not what I want. Okay, so let's do this. And what was the other hotbar? I don't remember. Was it 7? It was 6. Can't even see it. Okay, so hotbar 6. Yeah. Commands. Mount commands. Oh, isn't there a mount? Isn't there a mount bar? No, I guess not. Yeah, this one. So is the pet hotbar not the same as it must not be the mount. It must be like a companion thing, right? No. Here. Or your companion to stop fighting. Shit. So I guess I have to put these in a bar. Let's do. Allow your companion to make his own decision. Defense. Follow. Attack. Free stance. Defense. Healer stance. Okay. How do I know if it's actually working? I don't think my pet fights. I don't think my pet fights. Okay, so that's really annoying. So this is where I am. I have a T9 summon using and item. What is? I don't know what T9 summon means. You mean this thing where it like does a summon? And then I've got withdraw, dismiss your companion from battle. Oh, so do I have to like do this to summon him for battle? So is this like how you summon him for like battle? You have to give him food or something? Like, dude, it's been so long since I played this game. But the thing is, like, I don't even like I said, this is the hardest part. I don't even know how to navigate the world. I mean, I guess this is my story quest, so I would want to go this way. You know, get some food. I need to keybind movement, like auto run, turn toggle between rock one, turn off. Blah, blah, blah. So let's. How do I unbind this? See if this works. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's really loud. Is that system sounds or sound? I guess it's that. Yeah. One of the things I talked about with Final Fantasy is the one thing that's really cool in Final Fantasy is I think it's probably has the most diverse amount of enemies, like enemy type character like models. Like you don't like when you go through Final Fantasy, there is so many variations of the different types of creatures you will see in the world that you will fight, which is really cool. And I've commented on this before when I used to play this game. Like, I mean, these are one of the I mean, these snow wolves are just really cool looking. I mean, look how cool these guys are. I don't even know what all my abilities. I have so many abilities. I don't even know what they all do. Like, what is this? Hallowed ground renders you impervious to most attacks. And I don't. What is that keybind, man? R. This is Shift D. Reduce damage taken. What is this? Keybind looks totally wrong. That's S. S Shift D. That's Control 6. So what the fuck? Obviously, I don't want to use Control 6. I guess I didn't have this keybound for some reason. Really weird. Let me, renders you impervious to most attacks. Sentinel. Creates a barrier nullifying most knockbacks. Interject is R. Control D, Control D. Usually I like to try to, since there's so many abilities in Final Fantasy XIV, I like to try to use the same type of keybinds for the same types of abilities, meaning like, if I have abilities that add extra defense to me, I like to put them on similar keybinds, like D, Shift D, Control D, you know what I mean? Like, we could do Control Q for this one, because we already have Shift Q as, like, reduces damage taken by 20%. But I don't really like Control Q, it's kind of an awkward keybind. Hallowed Ground. I'm just gonna make it like Control E, I think. So like, look how many defensive abilities we've got. We've got Shift, and they're just odd because there's so many, and their keybinds are weird. So we have Rampart, reduces damage taken by 20%. We have Hallowed Ground, renders you impervious to most attacks. We have Sentinel, reduces damage taken by 30%. And then we have Sheltron, reduces damage taken by 15%. I mean, it's kind of overkill, to be honest. Like, if I was making an MMO, I probably wouldn't have that many abilities that provide similar, kind of overlapping type of effects. Because it's just kind of overkill. I would probably, instead of having different ones that do kind of the same thing, like this one's like, you know, reduces damage taken by 20%, and this one is like reduces damage taken by 15%. I probably would maybe just do different abilities that that maybe when used in certain orders will increase the effectiveness of one of these abilities. So instead of having two different abilities, maybe just have like, hey, if I do this ability, then this ability, it's 20% reduction. But if I do this ability, and this ability, then this ability, that same ability, it's like 30% or something. You know what I mean? Like, try to keep it so that you don't have so many abilities. But the one ability that you do have can have different levels of effectiveness based on other criteria. You know? Like here, I taunt the mob. I'm going to interrupt. Shift Q, right? Damage, then I'm going to go Shift D. And now, like, this, you know, I don't know, I'm like a crazy amount of damage reduction right now. So I had 3 different buffs on me, and it said, your damage taken is reduced. I'm going to interrupt that, whatever he was doing there. Impervious to most attacks. Trip the mob. Stun the mob. Yeah. A lot of different abilities. Well, he did get me with that electrify shit. I will say though, those abilities are on cooldown. Like all of them pretty much are on cooldown. Hey, Laser, how's it going? Let me guess, you're playing the crap, the steaming pile of dog shit known as the War Within. God. I watched a couple videos on the War Within, and I was just so like not excited. I was like, this looks so bad. I mean, if I was gonna play an MMO because I was interested in the story, I think I'd rather play Final Fantasy. I'll tell you what, Laser. The video that I watched was Preach Gaming, and again, I'm not really a fan of Preach Gaming because, just like a lot of content creators, he just does shit to get views, right? So even, I mean, look at this video, Drama Time Alive. I mean, he just does shit to get views, so he's not, I don't find him to be a very, like, honest person to be, really, or not necessarily not an honest person, but I don't find him to be super, I don't think he's going to give you his real brutal take, because a lot of streamers don't want to do that because they don't want to alienate a side of the player base that might be positive for something, you know what I mean? Like, if you're talking about, like, he did this video here that I watched earlier today, and hold on a second, let me, I have like literally like 30 different tabs open right now. I just wanted to kill the music. So he did this video earlier, or sometime, I don't know when it was, like 2 days ago, called Should You Play the War Within, right? And I watched it, but the one thing that I don't like is how he tries to create this spin. I mean, it's an 18-minute video, and he could have told you what he was going to tell you in probably about 2 minutes. I mean, 16 minutes of this video was just bullshit, you know? You know, it was like, basically he goes through this whole long story of like, oh, WoW's done all these things that I don't like, and there's a lot of people that don't like certain things that WoW's done, and WoW's kind of screwed up the lore, and it's kind of turned all the characters in WoW into memes, and people think Anduin's a pussy, and all this kind of shit. And at the very end, but, and then, you know, but, I'm going to do what I did in Guild Wars 2, and I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to try to forget all the shit that WoW's done, all the way up to this point, and I'm going to reset the slate, and I'm going to go into the War Within with just a clean slate, and see how it goes. Now, you don't think that he didn't spend that whole fucking 16-minute video just to, like, get people excited about, oh, let's watch Preach Gaming play the War Within. You know what I mean? That's exactly what he was doing. And it's so disingenuous. It's so, like, not... It's just... It's for views. You know, it's a content creator trying to spin a narrative in a way that people are trying to get on board and say, yeah, Preach Gaming he's gonna give it a go, and we should jump on the bandwagon. You know, and to me, that's not how I look at it. I'm gonna give you a brutally honest, because I guarantee you, inside his heart, deep inside his heart, he knows 90%. He's not gonna like what Blizzard's done. He's not gonna like it. He'll play the War Within just to get his views, but after that, he's gonna sit and he's gonna in you know, off stream and talking to his friends, he's gonna be like, yeah, that stuff fucking sucked. You know what I mean? I guarantee it. Off stream, what you're seeing on stream, him talking about this game, is not what you're seeing off stream, and that's why I don't like that shit. You're never gonna see me be phony. You're never gonna see me spin shit like that. I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion. I think the War Within probably is a piece of steam and pile of dog shit. Now, if you like playing a single player game that focuses on questing and focuses on a narrative and focuses on lore, then sure, you might like the War Within. If you want to play if you want to play it like a single player game and focus on just the story, and you're interested and you're invested in the lore of World of Warcraft, then yeah, you might like the game. And that's probably like you, Laser. If that's your thing, more power to you, and that's great. I mean, my thing with people playing video games is I want people to have fun. And if you're having fun playing a video game, then I'm happy for you, right? I'm happy for you. But I hate content creators that come out and just spin these narratives that aren't true. They aren't like a real reflection of what they truly believe. They're just a reflection of something that they're trying to put. They're just a poser. They're putting this shit out there to try to get you to get involved in their stream, so that, you know, they're just a salesman. They're selling themselves so they get content, so they get views, you know. So yeah, no, Laser. I think the War Within sounds like something you'd like, and I think it's awesome if you and your husband are enjoying it. I think that's great. I mean, I thought about playing it. Because I do like Chris Metzen a lot. I think he seems like a really good guy, and I think him being involved in, the War Within is interesting. I mean, I just think that WoW's gone to a certain point where you just can't really go back, it's and what Preach was saying in that video, and I've got it here.
I didn't think Zerglings, morphing into orcs would work. Perfect crescendo of 20 years of storytelling,
So here's the interview with Chris Metzen from 3 days ago, and this was a pretty good interview. It wasn't great, but you got an idea of kind of like behind the scenes, kind of what he was talking about doing with the War Within, like how he came in. And it was Chris Metzen's, and in this video you learn that it was Chris Metzen's idea to try to look at World of Warcraft over the entire years, from 2004 to now, and say, hey, let's try to somehow bring things together for the anniversary of WoW, the 20-year anniversary. Let's try to bring a lot of the characters and the themes of WoW together and have some sort of a resolution or some sort of a way to make it all make sense. Because I think you would agree, Laser, that WoW has become so fragmented. The storylines have kind of gone in so many different directions, and they kind of got, like, when you had, like, World of Warcraft vanilla, and then you had the Burning Crusade, and you had Wrath of Lich King, everything felt pretty, cohesive. You kind of understood where the lore was, and it was great. I loved the Lich King. I thought the Lich King, story-wise, was really, really cool. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really interesting. And I liked the story of Sylvanas initially, but they completely ruined Sylvanas. Like, Sylvanas was one of the coolest characters, and some of the other characters, like Thrall and stuff, were very cool characters, and I cared about those characters at a certain point in time, but that was so long ago. They have since just, split off in way too many directions. And I think it felt like after watching this video that Chris Metzen was kind of agreeing with me, and that, hey, we've gone too many different directions, and it feels like we're all lost. How do we pull this back and bring people back together? You know what I mean? How do we bring people back together so that they care about the story? And from what I've gathered, the War Within is heavily focused on the story, like much more so than any WoW expansion. Like one of the things in that Preaches video he talked about is, like, when you have a new WoW expansion, a lot of times you're talking about all the new systems that they've created, because new WoW expansions a lot of times are very popular for inventing all these new types of systems. Like, oh, the new type of talent system, or the new dragon riding system, or the new, like, legend artifact system. You know what I mean? But I guess the War Within doesn't really have a lot of systems, a lot of new systems. And the reason that is because the time was really spent more on developing the story. And from what I've seen, and I've only seen a little bit, some of the animations, if what I saw, I think in this video in the Preach video is true, I just saw some of these videos in the Preach video, and I couldn't believe the quality of some of the animations I was seeing.
The War Within!
Like this shit, I mean, is this like from a WoW animation cinematic? It looks like it is. So I don't know where this cinematic is at. I also think a lot of this feels very, very, very woke, which, I'm not a fan of that bullshit, But some of these cinematics were, like, crazy. I'd never seen them before, like these at the beginning, mostly just this one here. I'd never seen this cinematic, Yeah. And it's impressive. I mean, the quality of the cinematic's really good. Like, but when I see this, all I can think of is fucking, I'm sorry, but when I see this part of this video, the only thing I can think of, and maybe you guys will understand why, is that stupid Disney show. What was that Disney show? Disney Star Wars Disaster. The Acolyte. When I see this, I just think of the Acolyte. So immediately I have this really bad negative feeling about it. Right? So if we go to... Yeah, the Acolyte, dude, is so bad. What was the Acolyte? That stupid... Acolyte. What was that one video? What was that one scene where they're doing, like, We Are One or something? Was it We Are One? Like this bullshit? The Power of One. Yeah, so I see this shit, and then I see this shit. Here is it. I know it's different, but because of the color of the skin and kind of the hair and all the style of it, it just felt like this woman, And I'm being super racist probably saying this, and I don't give a shit. To be honest, I don't care. You know, don't give a shit. I just feels like they're like all these like black women with their crazy hair, and then you've got this black crazy looking native woman doing shit, and it's just like, okay. It just felt kind of ridiculous. You are, you am a fam of what right wingers call woke. What do you mean, you fam or fan? You are a fan of what right wingers call woke. So I'm not sure if I'm understanding what you're saying. Are you a fan of all the crap? Like, you're a fan of all the woke shit? I'm not a fan of it at all. Like, I'm not a fan of like every like. I mean, I could go into a big rant, and I'm not going to because it's just gonna, you know. All I'll say is I'm not a fan of having to diversify everything to the point that every single TV show and every single movie I see has one Asian, one black, one white. I mean, it's just stupid. It's dumb. You know, the world. You know, it's like it's what I really dislike is when authors write a story like, for example, a really good example was like The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, right? So The Wheel of Time is a story of a I think we probably talked about this before, but like the main characters of The Wheel of Time grew up in the same village, right? They all grew up in the same village. And then all of a sudden we have this Wheel of Time TV show, and the three of the main characters that all grew up in the same village. Now Rand, we can forgive Rand because Rand actually was adopted by Tam, and Tam found Rand on the slopes of Dragonmount. So he was a baby that he rescued. So that's completely different. But two of the other, like three or four of the others were all from the same village. And yet all these people that grew up and lived in the same village of people, that in this village that's been there for hundreds of years, suddenly magically all look different. Like one of them looks Indian, and one of them looks white, and one of them looks black. I'm like, it makes no sense. I'm sorry, you guys growing up in the same village had a very sheltered life. You would not all look completely different. You just wouldn't, right? It's like me going to, like, you know, it's like me going to Europe into like Paris in like the 1800s, and you know, just randomly picking like 10 people, and you know, 6 of them are one, you know, look completely different. It just doesn't make any sense. You have a different perspective. No, I'm just talking about some of the shit, man. And I'm not a fan of the Olympics, how they have like someone who was born a man and then says he's now a woman and then competes in boxing. Sorry, not a fan. Not a fan of that at all. When it's obvious that her body, whatever, it body is completely at an advantage, you know. So I'm not a fan of that either. That was a travesty. That was just disgusting, to be honest. But anyways, but yeah, so I mean, I think, you know, Chris talked about, I mean, what I was saying about Chris Metzen is that it came out in this interview. Are you saying it's completely wrong, the boxing? Are you disagreeing with me? Because I'm not going to argue on it. I think it's completely wrong what they did, but I'm not even going to argue. I think it was stupid. But Chris Metzen kind of said in this interview that he wanted to bring everything together, like bring it back, you know, because everything had gotten so spiraled so far away from kind of what WoW was in the beginning. He wanted to kind of bring some of those themes and those storylines back together to kind of, I think, bring some cohesiveness back to World of Warcraft. And what had happened is he got back on the team with Blizzard after they had already been working on the War Within for like 6 months or 8 months or 10 months. You know what I mean? And she was born a woman, identified as a woman, and comes from a country that does not allow trans. I don't, like I said, I don't want to talk about it. It's stupid. I disagree with it, so don't even want to talk about it. But so Chris, you know, it's stupid. You know, I'm not for the woke shit. Sorry, I'm not. I mean, this stuff, and I'm talking about how it's thrust into everybody's faces and how you're forced to basically consume it because there's a small portion of the world that thinks that everybody should believe the way they believe. You know what I mean? So it's like, just because you think that, you know what I mean, that you've been shit on something. It's like, I've never told anybody to be a woman or to be a man or whatever. I've never told anybody how to live their lives. So then to throw that shit in my face and make me have to listen and look at your, whatever you perceive as your fucking issue, right? You know, is not right either. You know, that's not right either, you know. But Chris Metzen, like, he came onto the WoW team and told them how he wanted to bring stuff back, and they said, well, it's too late. We can't really do that in one expansion because we've already gone so far in the development during this one expansion. And so that's where they came up with the idea. Well, and I think it was Chris Metzen, he kind of alluded to it in this video, that it was his idea to say, well, let's not just try to do this over one expansion. Let's try to do it over multiple expansions. So I think it was his idea to basically branch the War Within across like 3 different expansions, because that was the only way he could try to complete his whole storyline of his complex storyline of, I guess, of trying to wrap a lot of different types of different narratives in WoW, in the WoW universe, and somehow make them, work together or cross over, and kind of have some sort of a resolution at the end. So I mean, I think it's interesting. I think probably for me, the only thing I would want to do with the War Within is I don't really want to play it, but I would be interested in watching if somebody puts together like a video series of the War Within, of like the cutscenes in a way that it explains the story. I would watch that. I would enjoy watching a video of someone who basically just takes the different cutscenes and across all 3 expansions and puts them into like a movie, so that I could just sit down and watch and understand, what's going on with the story and how it moves through the expansions. I would be way more interested in doing that than actually playing the game, because I just know playing the game I would hate it. I would hate every minute of playing it because I don't enjoy the way WoW progresses characters. I don't enjoy the questing. I don't enjoy. I mean, even just the when I went into WoW, even just the loading screen changes like completely turned me off. Like when I logged into like the real-time version of the game, they completely had changed the loading screen, and even just that like completely turned me off, right? And what I'm talking about is it's just more complexity, more crap piled on it. They just keep piling stuff on top of each other, right? Oh, and look, they're already doing, I guess, a patch or something. I don't know, but the outrage is everywhere because okay, well then I was misinformed on that though. I was told that she was a man who switched to a woman and then participated as a woman. So then I guess I can apologize, but that was what I got out of it. That she was a man who basically transitioned to a woman and then tried to perform in a woman's sport, because that's what I'm against. I'm against women. I'm against men transitioning into women and then performing as a woman, because they still have the body of a man. If you're born as a man, your body it's just stronger. It just is. Men's bodies are stronger than women's bodies. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So if you're born as a man and you somehow want to transition to a woman and then you want to compete in a woman's sport, I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right. Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't know she was just a very butch woman. I'm looking at pictures of her. She looked like she was a man. she looked like a creepy man. She looked like if you've ever seen the movie Cyborg, she looked like one of those crazy cyborg people. She was scary looking, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't want to meet her in a dark alley. Let's just put it that way. I'd have to whip out my AK, just put a few bullets in her to keep her away from me. I'm putting you down. But just this, like, when I logged into this screen here, it just completely turned me off, right? Like, it's like, why did they, like, look at this. They put in this whole, like, favorites section, which loads into this kind of a view, which not that I dislike this view, because this view is very similar in MMOs. I mean, you see this view in games like Vindictus. You see this type of a view in another game. Was that a lot of single player, like survival games have this type of a view? Like I think you see this in maybe even like what's that game that the Baldur's Gate, I think, might have had this, and then that other like survival game had this type of. You see a lot of games have this type of a loading screen, but I'm like, what? Why bother? It was like, why do this? And I don't like this either. The whole gear update, how they try to like get you up to date with gear. I don't like that either, because people shouldn't give me. I shouldn't ever be just given gear for no reason. Everything I acquire as a character should be something I have to acquire while playing the game. I don't want people giving me shit, right? Don't give me shit for nothing, because then it totally breaks immersion. There's no immersion anymore. Now I feel like I'm playing a mobile game if you're giving me shit. I feel like I'm getting a log, and that's why I don't like login rewards. I'm not a fan of login rewards either because again, it's immersion breaking. It breaks the feeling of I'm going into a world and everything I do on my character and everything I become and everything I achieve is through my own effort. It's not because I just happened to log into a video game 5 days in a row. You know, to me that breaks immersion. I don't like that. But yeah, I don't like this. Just this whole. Just when I came into this, I disliked this. I was like, why did you do this? Why is this here? Now my player list has got some bullshit favorites, and now I've got this. And why is this menu and realms and shop up here and you're giving me free shit? It's like what the fuck's a warband character list? I don't even know what that is. I mean, it's just crap. You know, it's just they keep adding and adding and adding, and it doesn't feel like WoW retail doesn't feel like WoW to me. You know, it's not World of Warcraft. It's just some other game. You know, I don't like it. Everything about it I dislike. You know, and it's just transformed into a complete. It's just been so bastardized. You know, I just dislike it, and like even logging in, everything about the game turns me off. Like when I log in and how they redid like the bar, how they redid the screens. Like if you look at like your character screen, like what the look of the screen, like what it even looks like, just the graphical look of like your bag window, the graphical look of your character portrait window. They changed. I didn't like the way they changed it. Everything they did has made it look to me more like a mobile game. It just more and more like a mobile game every time I play it. Every time I look at it, and I don't like mobile. And if I want to play a mobile game, I'm gonna pull my phone out, right? I'm not gonna go into my PC and log into a game on my PC that looks like a mobile game. So if I want to play a mobile game, I'll play a mobile game. So yeah, I just like, you know, like when I get into a game like this, like Final Fantasy, this feels like an MMO, right? You know, this feels like an MMO. You find what visually? Oh, Lost Ark. Yeah, Lost Ark. I don't like Lost Ark. But I don't like isometric games though. I have a hard time with isometric games. But Lost Ark, yeah, I don't like anything that's too busy. Like Black Desert Online is really busy. Like if you go into Black Desert Online, but you can turn a lot of the stuff off. Like when you go to the map and stuff, it's crazy. Yeah, the Final Fantasy combat, it's smooth and all. I think what I don't like about, and you don't have to move around. Like I move around. You don't have to. You can turn off, and I don't like all the particle effects, you know what I mean? It's too crazy with the particle effects, but you can turn that off. I think it was in the, let's see, where was it, character? I just did this earlier, and now I don't even remember where it was. Here, under battle effect settings, so if I turn, like, show limited on here, now it's going to look a lot different, right? So the problem with when you turn the particle effects off there is it's a little. I think it's hard for people watching the stream to maybe understand. But yeah, the combat's not my favorite. I agree with you on that. I think the combat in WoW is really, and I talked about this earlier before you got in the stream. The combat in WoW is really good in that like it's so easy to identify what players are doing. Like if I always say if a Frost Mage casts a Frostbolt, it's so everybody knows what that is. Like when you see a mage cast Frostbolt in WoW, everybody who's ever played World of Warcraft says, "Oh, that's a Frostbolt animation," right? Or if like, I'm trying to think, what's another really iconic one? Like maybe Sheep, even. If someone's casting Sheep, or if a druid's casting, Moonfire. I mean, you can recognize what's happening. But when I go into Final Fantasy and I do stuff, it's not always easy. I mean, I have so many abilities. Like I have a lot of abilities, like all these abilities. Like if I cast maybe my Fast Blade versus my Total Eclipse, I wonder if you could even tell what the difference is. Here's my Fast Blade, and here's my other. I'm sorry, this is my Fast Blade, right? And this is my Final Eclipse. They're different animations. All right, Fast Blade. That's Fast Blade. This is Final Eclipse. Yeah, they're different. Fast Blade into Riot Blade into Rage of Paladin. They're. I would say that the animations are. A lot of them are fairly similar, and so it's kind of hard to discern what's going on. And that's also a really good reason why I don't think that MMOs should have a lot of abilities. Like I've always said that to me the sweet spot of abilities for an MMO is probably between like 15 to 20. If I want to really narrow it down into a narrow window, I think every class should have about 15 to 20 abilities. But what you can do, and a really good game that I think does a really, 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 really great job of this is Terra. Because Terra has maybe a little bit more than that, but what's really cool about Terra is that abilities interact with each other. Certain abilities chained after other abilities do different things. So that's how you can take, like, let's say you have an MMO that only has like maybe 12 skills. You could have way more things going on with those 12 skills. Like, let's say you use skill 1, then skill 2. Well, now skill 2 does more damage. What if you use skill 1 into skill 2, then skill 3? Well, now skill 3 maybe provides you with a bonus protection. Whereas if you just use skill 3 on its own, it would do damage, but it wouldn't provide you with any protection. And what if you use skill 1, then skill 2? Well, if you use skill 3, and then 4, and then skill 7, because you used 3 and 4 before 7, now 7 executes 30% faster than normal. There's all these things you can do with abilities to kind of interact them together to give different effects. So to me, an MMO should always strive to go more that route than going the route of like this. Like you can see here, I've got quite a few abilities in Final Fantasy. What I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 abilities. And I probably have more than that, to be honest. I don't even know where my abilities are. We'll see. I don't know which keybind brings up my abilities. Let's see. I don't even know. Gathering log, crafting log, duty finder, inventory, social. Here, actions and trades. Right, so let's see. Here's my traits that I have. Main commands, extras, role. So here's some of my abilities that are based. Here are abilities I have based on my role. So 3, 6, 7. And here's abilities based on just actions I have. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then you can see these are the ones that I'm going to get. So 22 abilities right now I have. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's 17. So at least 17 more. So now you're talking like, over almost 40 or more abilities, which to me is too many for an MMO. Like that's too many. Like having 40. The worst offender of this is if you guys have ever played, EverQuest 2. On EverQuest 2, I had, no joke, I had 9 action bars on my screen, all of them completely full with abilities. 9 action bars. And each action bar was like, I don't know, like 10 slots or something. I mean, I literally had like 90 things. I mean, how do you keybind 90 things? How the hell? You know what I mean? It was like ridiculous. I think I counted that I had like 45, abilities that I would use fairly regularly, and then like another 20 that I would use like really like specific, you know, for specific situations. But if I talk about Final Fantasy, how do I target myself? Yeah. Well, I was playing. Yeah, I was playing Lotro, and there was quite a few abilities. But there were a lot of passives. I like passives too. I think passives. I think that's another way to go. You can like, if you like look at talent trees, for example, like in WoW or some games, you can you can pick certain talents, and I actually lean more towards picking talents that give me passive abilities, just because I don't like to have to manage a ton of active abilities. So a lot in MMOs, I'm always excited when I see a talent tree where like a lot of the abilities are passives. Another good example of that too is let's see if we can find this is Rift. Rift's talent trees is pretty much my favorite of all time. Rift talent tree calculator. Let's see if we can find a Rift soul tree calculator. Yeah, okay, here we go. So let's say I go into a cleric. Yeah, and oh, cool. So let's go. We're gonna go druid, druid, and here you see the abilities, and then we'll pick like. Wait, I'm getting attacked, I think. Yeah, stun the mob. I'm gonna trip the mob. Now I'm gonna throw up my shield. Now I'm gonna throw up another shield. Now I'm gonna buff myself. Now I'm gonna taunt the mob for no reason whatsoever. Then I'm gonna stun him again, and then we'll just finish him off with this. I'm kind of telling you what I'm doing because I think by the animations you really can't tell, and that's one of my biggest gripes with Final Fantasy is that it is kind of hard to see what people are doing. I think I don't think the animations are great for Final Fantasy. The combat's smooth though, the movement and everything feels really smooth, but I don't think the animations are great. Oh, you said F. What's F1? Oh, F1. Oh, okay, good. I'll rekey behind that. I always use shift middle mouse click to target myself, just because it's something that I like to do a lot. Okay, so if you look at the Rift Soul Tree, right, and we go in here, we're going to say, okay, we're going to do Druid, and we're going to do Purifier and Shaman. What I like about Rift's tree is that you'll see these abilities down here at the bottom. So these down here, see it says 2. That just means that after you spend 2 talent points at the top here, you automatically get this. So all these abilities down here you get just by putting talent points into your Healing Soul tree. So, and if you look at like stuff here, like a lot of these are effects. They're like stuff like crit or extra damage. Yeah, are there passive, the heroic talents? Do they have a new? Is that new to the War Within? I honestly, Laser, I would play the War Within if they would just fix the UI. If they would just the problem, like when I log into the War Within, the whole client feels so bloated. It feels so bloated with junk, and it really turns me off. What I like about Classic is when I go in, it's I like more simplistic. I don't want to say simplistic, but I like games that just aren't bloated with systems. I don't like a lot of systems. Like a lot of the modern MMOs have too many systems, and I think it's a big complaint. And I'm not the only one. A lot of people complain about this. A lot of people complain about there's way too many systems. Yeah, I've used the UI, and I'm not. It's okay. It could have been done a lot better, to be honest. I mean, like if you look at Final Fantasy's UI, it's better. I mean, Final Fantasy's UI, and it came out in 2010. I don't know when they put the UI editor in Final Fantasy, but it's better than WoW's, right? Like if I go in here and I go to HUD layout, this HUD layout is better than WoW's. It's nice. It's really nice, actually. I can go in any item on my UI. I can go into the map and say, you know what? I don't want to see the map. Boom, gone, right? And a lot of that stuff you can do in WoW, but in here, look at I can scale the map. Look at all these different sizes. I can change it to. What's really nice about the hotbars, like check out the hotbar here. Let's say I grab hotbar 1, right? I can go into hotbar 1. I can change the layouts to this 2x6, 3x4, 4x3, 6x2, or 12x1. I can scale it anywhere from 200% all the way down to 60%, right? And it's just nice. I mean, the way they've done it is really good. And I can disable it or enable it really simple, simply just by clicking this button. Um, and there's other stuff too. Like there's a lot of stuff in the actual settings, you know, to basically, you know, lock the bars. There's bar swapping if you want. I don't use that, but there's ways you can turn on so that you can swap, you know, hot bars in and out. Um, what else? There's just the HUD customizations in here is really good. Like this HUD customization, and I can go here and look at the duty elements, or I can turn off the hot bars if I don't want to see the hot bars because I'm already done. I can, you know, turn off the system if all I care about is the hot bars. You know, and then also there's different layouts. I can save up to 4 different layouts, right? I mean, how crazy is that? You know, I can switch between an element just by going through here. I mean, it's just really good UI customization, and it's been this way for a long time. I think ever since they came out with the, you know, the re-release of the game. Um, but yeah, the HUD in here is just, and that's the Final Fantasy is a perfect example of really what a HUD, you know, a HUD layout and modification should be. You know, I mean, because it allows you to basically modify and move around everything. It's just great, you know. Yeah, and you can right click, yeah, enable or disable. Oh, you can do that. You mean like in? Let's see, you mean like inside the layout? Let's see. Or do you mean on the screen itself? Oh, remove. Is that what remove does? Disable? Here, let's try it. Let's go to HUD layout and let's enable hotbar 1. We're gonna, actually it is enable, save. And then, oh, there's nothing on here. Or is it just removing the item? Oh, it just removed the item. You right click the box to enable disable. I'm not sure what you mean by right click the box to enable disable, but that's all right. I wasn't able to do it. But anyways, all I'm saying is this HUD customization is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's really good, and it's what you need. And if you play Rift, Rift also has a HUD customization that's very similar, and it's great. WoW's customization isn't as good as this, and which to me, I just laugh at World of Warcraft because I'm like, you are the big no MMO has made more money than World of Warcraft. There's no way. You know, I can't think of any MMO that's made as much money as WoW. So there's no excuse that you can't. I mean, you should have the best configuration. You should have the best HUD, without a doubt, HUD configuration, because you have the money, you've got the talent, you've got the people. Like, how can you not have the best? I mean, there's no excuse. You know, there's just no excuse. And well, I'm in the edit mode, but I can't. Like, I'm right clicking and it's not doing anything. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what you mean. I'm right clicking and it's not doing anything, but yeah. But anyways, what I was trying to say is this is my favorite talent tree in an MMO is Rift. You can go in and basically you have all these different souls and you can slot. So you basically have 3 talent trees. You have all these choices of souls that you can use, right? And you can mix and match whatever you want, right? And then once you get them set up, then you go and you put your talent points in, and you're generally going to end up getting most of the talent points in a lot of these trees. Like one tree, you'll generally usually end up getting most of them, and then the other 2 trees, just a few, you know. So here you can see like Flame Speak increases critical hit chance of your healing spells, right? The health bar. You're not going to let it go, are you? The health bar. And oh, I see. Oh, I see. Weird. That's weird. So it does. Oh, that's crazy. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So, but as you go, so you can see this first one. It's just increase the critical strike chance of your spells, and you can say I put 5 points in, and then immediately I got down into the. Here, let's see. We got into. You get these two automatically just by picking this tree. You get Symbol of Torch, absorb 85% income damage. So this is actually an ability, and then you get Flame Lance, which is an ability. So these are two. It's like when you go into World of Warcraft and you say you get level 10, you pick a talent tree, you get a couple abilities. Like you say, oh, I want to be like a protection warrior or something. So it's probably going to give you like shield bash or block or something. I don't know what abilities you get, but that's the same type of thing. Once you put a soul in here and you say you've added this soul, right away you're going to get two abilities. So the fact that I've got these 3 souls means that right off the bat I've got, all these abilities automatically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is the druid, so there's actually a pet ability here. You can have a pet. Let's not do druid. Let's do oracle. So 6 abilities. Got 6 core abilities. And then I go into here. I put 5 out of 5, and I actually pick up this, which is another ability, right? And then I pick up another ability. So you do end up with a lot of abilities. But the cool thing about one of the cool things about Rift is you can actually create macros that allow you to put in multiple skills into in the same macro. Like I've got a macro on my Warden that literally, I'm basically, if I want, if I go into combat, I can just hit one button, and it'll basically just because it'll have like 5 skills in it, and basically what it's doing is just whack-a-mole. It says if this ability is available, you don't have to do that, but that is an option. But like a lot of these abilities are, they're pretty cool. Yeah, you do get a lot of skills though in Rift, but you end up using certain ones over others. So you may get up with like 20 or 30 skills, but you don't use 20 or 30 because certain ones are better than others. It's more like, you're picking. But when you go into the talent trees, a lot of this stuff, these are down here, these are abilities you're getting, but all these are usually like passes and effects. See here, like increase your healing done, causes single target healing observers are supposed to apply a blessing, reduces the duration. So you can see none of these are really giving me new skills. They're all just, increasing the effectiveness of a certain ability or giving me like some sort of a buff when I use a certain ability or, pretty basically those things. It's down here that's giving you the new abilities. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So basically 20 skills, 20 abilities. So if I get into 58 talent points, I'm going to end up with 20, abilities. And then in here, you're not going to end up with that many. So like how many talent points do you have total? Does it say? 71. So let's just say we went into this one, right? And we max this out. We grab everything in Purifier, which is a healing soul, because I want to be a really good healer, right? You can see I got 37 left. We should play Rift. I should do a Rift stream tomorrow or something. All right, so did I get everything? I think that's everything. So now we've got everything here. We've only got 15 talent points left, and we've picked up our 20 spells, and now we've got 15. So where do we want to put them? Let's say increase spell power. Yeah, I want to increase spell power. And reduce damage you receive. No. Increase spell power. Okay, yeah, I want to increase my spell power. And then I've got 5 left. And increase your damage. No. Raid buffs all. Yeah, let's grab this raid buff. Increase the damage of your emblems. No. Self buff. Increase base health. No. Increase your critical chance of your abilities. Yeah. Let's do that. Increase the damage done and increase the duration of light now. Let's just increase critical hit chance of your abilities. So there you go. We've completely filled out a talent tree for a healer. We've picked up 25, 26, 27, 28. So we have 29 spells that we've picked up. And that's about it. So this character is going to have about 29 abilities in Rift. You won't probably use them all. But it's pretty cool. But I mean, this is my favorite talent system of any MMO. So my favorite. All right, Laser. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I hope I didn't piss you off. We always argue about stuff. But I love you. Love you. Love you, Laser. And I hope you're having fun in the War Within. Yeah, it is a shortcut for sure, Cody. And it's kind of nice. Nah. But I did want to talk about the stuff in Final Fantasy that I do like. I mean, because Final Fantasy has a lot of really good things, and of course, Final Fantasy is currently, probably up until the War Within was released, it is the pretty much the most played MMO currently. Like, there's more people playing Final Fantasy than any other MMO right now. Now, if you took classic World of Warcraft and retail Warcraft and add them together, maybe there'd be more people than Final Fantasy, but directly head to head with just retail WoW, there's way more people playing Final Fantasy, which is pretty obvious when I logged into my character. I was in a waiting list. In fact, every time I've logged into this character today, I've been in queue to just even log in because the server's pretty full. But I did want to talk about the things I do like about Final Fantasy. If people are interested in playing Final Fantasy, the story, it's the best story I've ever seen in an MMO. So if you're really interested in a really, really cool story that really gets you involved in the MMO, that gets you kind of invested, Final Fantasy is hands down the best. It's really good. There's a lot of comedy to it, so it's very funny. And just the storytelling itself is just really, really done really well. Even just the opening cinematic to the game when you start a new character is really cool. And then after that, the world is, man. And the worst part about Final Fantasy is because it was created in 2010 and it was originally created to run on consoles, they didn't have a lot of RAM, a lot of memory to deal with. So the zones ended up being like this, where they're small and there's not a lot of visible stuff on the screen at once because they had to deal with the console systems not having as much memory as like a computer. So there were a lot of limitations they had to work with. And that's why when you look at Final Fantasy, a lot of the maps are pretty, like the earlier zones are pretty small and not too crazy, There's not a lot going on, really, as far as hitting your PC. But from what I've heard, and I can't say from personal experience because the highest level character I have is this one, which is level 51. And I still think I'm dealing with the first expansion content, the first main content. I don't think I've even moved into the first expansion yet. But from what I heard with Final Fantasy is that once you get into later expansions, that goes away because now, the game's been around a long time and they're not targeting consoles anymore as much. And the later expansions are, they look a lot better. And, maybe Cody could mention it. But from what I've heard, the graphics are better and it looks better. Maybe we could find a video of, let's see. Because honestly, I haven't seen the content from the other expansions, but I've heard it's supposed to be like way better. So let's go Final Fantasy 14. What's the latest expansion? It's not Endwalker, is it? Where's the 14 expansions? It's a Dawn Trail, which came out this year. So if we do Final Fantasy, let's do Dawn Trail Zones gameplay, maybe? I don't know. So new areas. Let's take a look at this. Just to see if we can get a feel for do the zones feel, do they feel, better? I mean, right away, the scale of this is, I mean, I've never been anywhere in Final Fantasy that looks like this, right? I haven't. I mean, and just look at how big it, how much scale there is going up, and then just the detail. There's a lot more detail in the foliage, like in these older zones, there's, it's not as heavily populated with foliage, and this probably isn't the best zone to show you, but you can see it's not super, there's not a lot going on. It's pretty sparse, and I've got the graphics, I believe, turned up pretty much. I should have them turned up all the way. Let's see, is there, and if not, let's make sure that we do. Let's go high. Okay, so that looks like about pretty much high on everything, I think. You know. So it looks pretty similar to some of the zones I've seen. This... It definitely feels more... It feels bigger. The zones feel more wide open. I wish I could see, like, what the map looks like. Yeah, like, this looks a lot bigger and more wide open than what I'm used to seeing. Not, like, amazing, though. It doesn't, like, blow my... It's not, like, blowing my mind or anything. I think what I would like to see is... I would like to see a lot more difference in variation in lighting and theme. You know, when I look at this, it's all kind of happy go, you know, happy glow. Like everything feels like very kind of happy. This is the only one I see that has more of a kind of some ambiance to it, or a little bit of a different feel. Um, you know, but everything else feels like very upbeat. You know, I don't see any like dark, scary zones or, you know, super wet zones. It's all pretty much, you know, bright, sunny day, you know, outdoor zones. I don't know if we'll be able to get this, but I wonder if Rift. I want to see. I don't know if I'll be able to get it because Rift isn't a game that's super popular anymore. But let's see, Rift zone. Yeah, it probably will be hard to get to actually see Rift zones. Yeah, because it's such, you know, not that many people play Rift. I'm surprised that Rift is still going, to be honest.
Hello everyone, my name is Nibers and I'm joined by Saratnia. Today we'll be diving into Rift. Hello everyone, my name is Nibers and I'm joined by Saratnia. Today we'll be diving into Rift, a game initially released in 2000. You can choose between a warrior, cleric, rogue.
Another thing about Rift is it really has that feeling of the Holy Trinity. You know, the Holy Trinity really feels like it's ingrained. Final Fantasy is really weird. Final Fantasy is very strange because you can create one character and then you have the job system, and the jobs are basically the classes. And you only have to create one character in Final Fantasy because every character that you create can play every single class, right? And you just switch your job, right? Like if I go into Final Fantasy, and I don't know if I have it on my in here, but and I don't even know how to pull it up. But somewhere in here, there's going to be like a jobs, you know, here class, right? So I don't know how to do it, but you can actually create shortcuts to basically swap out your job to a different job. And so just on the fly, like I could, is it C? Oh, yeah, let's take a look. Oh, I'll end up changing that keybind. So here's your jobs. Yeah, so you could, how do you drag these out? How do you do how do you create the shortcuts though? How do you do that? Is it this one? I don't, like I am a 49 Arcanist. How do I switch? Well, above my character, I have this, which is, oh, that's just a sword, though. Oh, right here? Well, it says Paladin, and above here, all there is a gear set list. And there's a recommended gear. I've got nothing, so I've got none here. Oh, it's a Paladin. Yeah, there you go. And then you drag this out. So then, how do you switch, though? How do I switch to one of my other classes? Yeah. How do I switch? Like, right now I'm a Paladin. How do I switch to one of my other ones? Let's see. Oh, I guess that's an upgrade, right? You require multiple slots. Recommended. Leave that alone for now. No, I've already done the job quests. So I've already unlocked some of these. Like, I've already unlocked Scholar. I just don't know how to switch. You know, here, like, how do I add Paladin registered? No, delete. Switch weapons, really? Is that what it is? Oh no, here they look. Here they are. See, these are my different ones. I've got. Oh wait, I don't know. No, these are different types of gear. Okay. So if I switch weapon, it switches, though. Yeah, see, Arcanist. There you go. Conjurer. Arcanist. Anyway, so yeah, you can see that, and then we could just say add, right, Arcanist. And then you could do that. Now, I don't know if this will work, though. Let's find out. Now, if I click Paladin, yeah, see, then it switches to my Paladin. So you can switch back and forth. So it's really interesting how it works. You basically, like, and if you look at, let's see if I've got a video. Actually, no, that's not it. I don't seem to have it up on any of my old streams, which surprises me. But it's yeah, I'm really surprised that I don't, because at some point I set this up, and I'm looking through some of my streams, and I'm not seeing it, which is kind of surprising me, to be honest. To all nearby. Maybe I have it. Is there a way you can show stuff only when in combat? Nah, because that wouldn't be it, because I wouldn't show it in combat, because you can't switch jobs when you're in combat. Yeah. But I definitely know that it's at a certain point in time I actually had like about 5 or 6 different jobs with gear configured so that I could easily just switch between jobs. So anyways, it's very interesting, you know, how Final Fantasy does that. And I think that's kind of an advantage. You know, actually it looks really cool at nighttime here. And I think that's another advantage to Final Fantasy is how cool you can just swap between different classes. Like I can switch between my Paladin and my Arcanist just by clicking this button. And you can set it up so that you can set up the gear that you want, right? You know, when I go to Arcanist, equip set. Now I just go in here and I just slot all the gear that I want, and then I update the set and save it, and then, you know, and that's it. I can go to Paladin, equip. And the other thing that's really cool that I actually kind of like is that if you go to, oops. I gotta remember how I get to it. If you go to recommended gear, it actually will tell you if you have some gear that might be an upgrade. Like here, it's telling me that I should equip this ring. Which currently I have this ring here. I'm level 30 and I'm level 5, so let's just say equip. And it swapped out that really low level ring with this obviously much better ring. So, and then here, I don't know how we update the set though. Let's see. Yeah, there, boom, update gear set, Paladin registered. And now we just updated it with the new ring. And so if we switch here and then go back, it now has that new ring automatically because we updated the set. So this is like these are really, I think, really cool features of Final Fantasy. I think they're really cool because it enables you to configure these different things, and it's just, you know, the UI is really it feels really easy to use, and the responsiveness of these things is very fast. You know, it's very quick. You know, it's everything in Final Fantasy, actually, the responsiveness is really, really good. The UI responds very quick. The character reactions, the character controller in Final Fantasy, I think is probably second, or maybe only to World of Warcraft. And what I'm talking about is just like when I'm moving around on my mount here, like just the way it feels, you know, how the character moves, the nameplate, you know, it just feels really good, you know. And even when I go into combat, it feels good. It's just, I think the biggest, the thing that's not as good is the animations just aren't as diverse as they could be. Too many of the animations look like too many of the other animations, you know. Like I go in here and I click that one, and what's the other one? That one's got a nice spin to it, but it's just a little bit lackluster, you know. There's my kick. Now, if you zoom in, you can see it. Like if I zoom in, you can kind of see it, right? It's like, it's funny. It's another one of those MMOs that I said if. Oh man, it's getting really late. I didn't realize it was 3:50 in the morning. This is another one of those MMOs that I would love to see Final Fantasy come out with. I would just love to see Final Fantasy come out with a new version of Final Fantasy. You know, just to update their game engine. You know, just so you can update the graphics and update maybe the spell animations. You know, to make them a little bit more. More clean. To add new equipment to your inventory instead of your equipment storage. Oh, there is a setting, options to add new equipment to your inventory instead of your equipment storage, so you don't add junk to your equipment storage. Makes it easier to sell junk. Okay, that's cool. I'm just trying to figure out what game I want to play over the next few weeks because I've been trying to play World of Warcraft, but honestly, I've just been really bored with WoW. My biggest complaint with Final Fantasy really is, and I mentioned it earlier, is navigating the world. I think is kind of a pain in Final Fantasy. You know, there's a lot of. I mean, there is fast travel though. I don't quite remember how it works though. Like, I don't remember how the fast travel works. Like, I think. Oh, I remember now. I think if you go to like the portal stone or something, or like a certain thing that you interact with, then you can it's the crystals. If you go to like a crystal, achievement unlocked, mapping the realm. This is a pretty cool looking area. Here's the crystal, right? So, at least I think this is it. So if we go to this crystal, we can attune to it. I guess I've never been here before. And now if I click it again, we set home point register. How do I, maybe it's not this person that travels. I don't think that's the person that lets us travel though. How do we then travel though? It's a different person or something? But all the main story quests have these animations. Well met, friend. What brings you to Revenant's Toll? Did I hear you rightly? Your friends are being held captive at Castrum Sentry, and you want to rescue them. Strong has been on high alert of late with armor patrols. But anyways, like every main story quest is going to go through these dialogues. Real fresh infiltration. Well, I was curious, how are we going to smuggle ourselves there? Walk through the front door, huh? The front door. We disguise ourselves as Imperial troops. This will be a few set of Imperial uniforms and some armor. That's a bold strategy, but it just might work. Where we are, there's certainly no shortage of opportunities to borrow equipment. Knowing those Imperial bastards, they won't even suspect that we savage Azorians would think to use their technology. Then it's settled. Determined to go ahead with this, I'd recommend you speak with Glaumont. Phil's got a personal grudge against the Empire and happens to know a deal about the Castrum Sentry. Besides, I've no doubt that he'd want to be of aid. Eden and I shall go to reconnoiter Garlean activity at the Stronghold. I want to do something. He would not do if something were to befall our comrades before we had the chance. Yeah, but I don't know how to teleport between the different crystals. I thought there was a person you had to talk to. Come and join us when you're ready, Meadow. Let's do this. Oh, so you just click teleport. Okay, so yeah, this is the fast travel system. So moving around the world's pretty easy. Once you get these crystals, once you attune to the crystals, but in the very beginning of the game, you're not attuned to anything, then, so it's actually not bad. It's not bad. I just forgot how it worked. But one of the things that I really like about the game is is the armor is really, really cool. Like, and what's cool about it is it has a lot of, like, unlike World of Warcraft, there's some depth to the pieces. There's some layering. They're not just like, it's not just like a texture that's painted. You can see here there's layers of clothing here. We've got this layered on top of this. You can see the belt. These bags are, obviously hanging off the back of my character. Really cool. And there's a transmog system in Final Fantasy. What I'm wearing now is actually it's a transmog. Cool little knife there. I love this. I love this belt. This is like, I think, a belt item. But if we go to my character, which I don't really know how to pull up my character, see, I guess. I'm wearing the Paladin gear, like this Valor surcoat and stuff. I don't know if we can try on. No. No, see, it's still transmogged. I don't know how to look at it without the transmog. But, like, these items that I'm wearing don't look like what they look like. It's just that I've got a transmog. Maybe there's a way. Oh, and I'm actually hiding my weapons. So there's my weapons, which is this really cool shield. And again, look at the quality of the models. I mean, this sword is really cool looking. And so the gear in Final Fantasy is really, really nice. And also notice the positioning of how the weapon sits on my hip. Really, the positioning is really good. The way the shield rests on my back when I'm just walking around. The attention to detail, the quality, and I've mentioned this before when I played Final Fantasy a few years ago. I think the running animation in Final Fantasy is the best running animation in any MMO I've ever played. I mean, you can see the animation of her shoulders rotating and how the items are moving on her body. I think it's the best run animation I've ever seen in an MMO. And it's not surprising, because whenever you talk about, like, graphics and character models and animation, and you start talking about Asian games, Eastern games, are always way better at graphics and animations than most of the Western games. They just always are. You know, it's not hard to go and play games like, you know, like Lineage 2 or, you know, some of these games. They've always been really good. You know, you have Ion, you've got Arc-Age, all these games that are Asian games. They're very good at creating visuals and doing the animations and stuff. But I mean, just the way the sword rests on her hip, it's just perfectly placed. Like I said, the way the shield moves, super impressive and super smooth. It just feels so good. And I think one of the reasons that Final Fantasy is popular is because the transmog system is really in depth, and the gear and the quality of the variations of gear are really cool. You know, it's pretty cool. Here's a level 52 character. And the graphics are actually really, for a game that came out in, what, 2010? Graphics are actually really impressive. And then other cool stuff is like, let's check this out. Like, they have lots of different ways they have lots of emotes, like way more emotes than, I don't even know where they're at. Look at it, look how she sits down, it's so cool. She did that on her own. I didn't tell her to do that. I don't know how to bring up the emotes, but there's like a ridiculous amount of emotes. What's unable to execute command while in this position? Oh, what is stance? Oh, that just puts you into your combat stance. Portraits usually allow you to use a variety of poses, motions, and framing options to compose the perfect portrait of your character. Yeah. I'm not familiar with this portrait thing, but... I thought there was a bunch of other emotes. I just don't know. I know there's more, because I think I even had it. Like, you can even see here. See all these emotes I actually have on an action bar, so I can use them while I'm playing. So there's definitely a bunch of emotes. I just don't know where they are. Like, how do I find them? Here, social. There you go. So sit. It's got a history of what you've done. Yeah. See, I mean, look at all these emotes, right? And they're just some of them are really good. That's my faction, the serpent. It's just... Stagger, that's a good one. Yeah, but I mean, this is really good emotes. And how do I... Yeah. It's weird that she spun around when I did that. Interesting. See how I was standing here, and then when I kneeled, she spun. I wonder why she spun. Let's try this again. Okay, that's just part of the animation. Oh yeah, see, change pose. So that's really cool. Oh, did I have the crystal targeted? Oh, okay. But I love that how, like, change pose. Like you said, you can actually just click this and it goes through different poses. There's 3 poses, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. So it looks like there's about 7 different poses. Expressions. You can change your expression, I guess, all the time, right? Beam. Fake smile. Fake smile. Look, these are hilarious. Huh? Now, do these stay this way permanently, I wonder? Straight face. Grin. Oh, God. Confused. God. Smile versus straight. In settings, you can make them permanent? Okay. Cool. And then you've got general favorites. So yeah, so sit on ground and then change pose. So if you can sit on the ground, then you can change. See? I love that. Look at these poses, are awesome. So there's 3, 4. So it looks like there's just 4 poses on the ground. Yeah. But what was weird is it was changing automatically, and I'm pretty sure, I think it's in the settings that you said you can make it permanent. Because, like, I'm pretty sure that when I used to play this game, if I did a pose, I stayed in that pose. Like, notice I'll sit here like this, and then she'll change the pose, watch, without me doing anything. She's, like, changed it. See that? I'm pretty sure I had it set to permanent, because I don't remember my character changing the pose automatic like that. Although looks like she's going to stay in this one for a while. So maybe I didn't. What's a visor? I don't know what visor is. So anyways, I think to me, like, the greatest things in Final Fantasy are the story, the variety of armor, the UI customization is fantastic. The world is really good. I mean, visually, the world, I think, looks really good. For a game that's as old as it is, I think the world looks fantastic. The variety of gear is just really, really good. The community is fantastic. The dungeons are really fun. And that's about it. I mean, it's a good game. It's a really good game. I might play some more Final Fantasy, over the next week. I don't know. I probably will, to be honest, because I'm kind of bored with WoW right now, and I certainly am not going to play the War Within because I think it's just not something that I would enjoy. Headgears that have... Oh, yeah, they have visors. That's right. But yeah, I didn't realize, guys, it's 4 in the morning, so I need to probably try to get some sleep. I'm supposed to... I think we're probably going to be heading out tomorrow. I got to go to the vet to pick up some meds for my cat, and then after that I might go to my wife's parents' house, spend some time with her and her parents tomorrow, so I might spend most of the day with them, and then I'll probably come back tonight and probably play something, play something tonight. Tomorrow night. I guess it would be tonight because it's already 4 a.m. today on Saturday. Let's check our Bitcoin price. Yeah, it dropped. It reached a high of 64.3 today, which is really good. It's up 2.28% today, but yesterday it was up like 6%, which is great. I love my Bitcoin. So yeah, I think I mean, out of the MMOs there, I actually was going to play some Guild Wars 2 today, but I actually couldn't get I couldn't get logged into Guild Wars 2. It said that my account was it said there was a problem with my account, and it said I had to open up a support ticket, which basically makes me think that maybe someone hacked into my Guild Wars 2 account, which would be the first time I've ever had an account hacked. I've been playing MMOs and video games, for 20, 30 years, and during that time I've never ever had an account hacked. So I don't know if that's what's going on. I did email them and say, hey, I can't get into my account, so we'll see what they say. It would be kind of unfortunate if it was hacked because, I've got a lot of money and, a lot of gear and items and stuff on my Guild Wars 2 account because I've played Guild Wars 2 on and off for ever since the game came out. So I've played it quite a bit. But I also wouldn't, I mean, if it was hacked and I don't know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I think about Final Fantasy, I do think that one of the really great features of Final Fantasy is, and I mentioned already, is that the character feels like I can't stress enough how good it is to go into an MMO and feel like the character walking in the world and walking across the ground feels solid. If you guys probably know what I mean by that, just the animation of the character moving across like the land or jumping up onto a rock, it feels, that has to feel really solid. It has to feel good, and the feet need to visually look like they're on the rock or on the ground and not just above or not down below, and there's very few MMOs that pull that off really well. WoW has always been the best as far as just when your character's walking or moving around or jumping up and down on things, it just feels solid. It feels the control of your character is really accurate. There aren't too many MMOs where you can really easily just run down a dirt path, jump up onto a wooden, fence, jump off. WoW's got a lot of great control. Like you can climb mountain cliffs, and there's all kinds of cool stuff about getting into areas that you're probably not supposed to get into because WoW allows you to basically go anywhere you can see. Like a lot of MMOs, and Final Fantasy is one of those MMOs. Final Fantasy, you cannot go everywhere you want to. There's lots of invisible barriers that prevent you from going to certain parts of the map, and that always is unfortunate. But again, that was because Final Fantasy was made a long time ago, and it was made to run on consoles, so they couldn't have the world be as open as something like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was straight up groundbreaking. Like WoW truly was a seamless open world, pretty much. When you were on one continent, when you were on Kalimdor, you could run from the bottom to the top. You could jump into the water and swim all the way around the continent. I mean, you can literally swim, and I've never done this. One day we should probably try to do this, but we could probably go into WoW and swim completely around an entire continent, which is really pretty amazing. And there aren't too many MMOs where you can do something like that. You can even swim from one continent to the other, I think, in certain areas, if you have the right potions and certain things. Swim speed potions and what have you, and so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Final Fantasy is the character controller, the movement of the character. How your footing feels when you're just running across the ground is excellent. And I would put, as far as like if I had to rank MMOs based on the character controller, how well it feels to move, I would put WoW number 1, but I would put Final Fantasy number 2, and then I would probably put Terra. I mean, Terra and Black Desert are both pretty good. I'm trying to think Black Desert's good. Black Desert is probably better than Terra, only because Terra has a lot of terrain that you can't climb very easily, whereas Black Desert you can climb over a lot of the terrain pretty well. Rift, I'd have to log into Rift again to really see, but Rift was pretty good. What other like mainstream? Like Ion, not so good. Lineage 2, awful. That's a really old MMO. What other big MMOs we have? Like Star Wars: The Old Republic, not great. Character controller is not very good, to be honest. Let's see, Elder Scrolls Online, pretty good. Elder Scrolls Online character controller is pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I think Final Fantasy and WoW are pretty far ahead of the pack when it comes to how smooth the character moves. I would say Black Desert's got to be number 3. I would put Black Desert as the 3rd best as far as just how smooth it feels to move the character around. I think it's pretty good. But I'm trying to think of other things in Final Fantasy that I really liked. I mean, the crafting in Final Fantasy is really good. Crafting is really good. The cosmetic system is really good. The inventory management in Final Fantasy is one of the best. Like how Final Fantasy manages its inventory and how you can filter inventory is really, really good. And I don't know about you guys, but man, inventory is one of my biggest pain points with any MMO. I mean, there's nothing, more frustrating than dealing with, full bags, right? Full inventory is always a pain in the ass. And one of the coolest things about Final Fantasy is it's the only MMO I know of that when you start at level 1, you immediately have a ton of inventory space. Like they give you a shit ton of inventory space right at level 1, which is not exactly like realistic, and I think part of the feeling of progression on a character in MMO is bag space, because that's one of the things that can feel really, it's all an accomplishment. Like when you're playing a character and you want, for me anyway, immersion is really important, and immersion encompasses so many different things, but stuff is seemingly like insignificant or not important as bag space plays a role. I mean, it plays a role in the feeling of immersion, because as you're moving through the world and as you're acquiring more bag space, you feel like, in a way, almost like a more progressed character. You're like, oh man. And in fact, I mean, when you're playing vanilla for the first time and someone comes up to you and they're like, oh, hey, I got this 8-slot bag. Do you need it? And you're saying, I don't need no 8-slot bag. I've got all 16s. They're going to be like, holy shit, you've got all 16-slot bags? You know what I mean? Because when you first played the game, it took a while, to get to the point where you had like, all your bags, because they were not easy to get. And they're very expensive when they first go in the auction house. I mean, they're freaking expensive. People are selling them for like 4 gold, and you'd be lucky if you have 4 gold on your character. Anyways, I'm rambling. It's just because for some reason, I'm wide awake right now, and I shouldn't be, because it's 4:15 a.m. But the other game that I've been kind of toying with playing again is Rift. The only bad part about Rift is that it's just completely dead. Like, there aren't hardly anybody playing the game. Whereas Final Fantasy is completely different. There's a ton of people playing Final Fantasy. Let me go into Steam, since I've got Steam open, I believe. And I think we do have Rift installed. Yeah. Let's just launch it really quickly. I wasn't sure if I had it installed, but it looks like I did install. I think I installed it last week again. We can run through the soul tree really quick. Self-update installer. Oh, okay. Maybe it's not installed. Hopefully that's just an update. But the one problem with Rift, after they kind of they switched to a different, I think, publisher, is that the people that run the servers aren't as, they're not as smooth as they used to be. They don't run as well. I don't want to say they run bad, but they just don't run as well. But you can see here, you can see my character here, Shady Vale, in a guild called Freemasons. Actually, let's take a look in the guild. If I can remember how to pull up the guild list. Achievements. General. Where's the main menu? Cancel. But you can see, I wanted to show you too, see how Rift has an edit layout very similar to Final Fantasy, and it's really good. So this is all I ask for for an MMO, is just to have a layout like this, and very similar to like Final Fantasy. You can go in, you can select an item, and then you can scale it. I can do a combat fade, mouse focus fade. I can change the alpha. I can It says here like active alpha, inactive alpha, so we can like, you know, do stuff like if I have it selected. And so it's really just, you know, and all the items that you can drag around, even like the menus and stuff. And I didn't notice before, but this menu actually has an animation in it. Like edit layout, which is really cool. I've never noticed that before. I don't know if they've always had that, but... And you can see my buffs up here. But, yeah, really, really great, you know, UI. Rift has a great UI, and the character, as you can see, the character controller in Rift is good. You know, it's a little floaty on the jumping, but it's good. Let's see, I'm sure I've got a horse here somewhere, and or whatever this thing is. But one of the things that I always talk about with MMOs is how well can you traverse the terrain, and you know, can I jump on a log? And yeah, I can jump on a log, and can I climb across the branch? No. But, like in WoW, I would be able to. And that's one of the things in WoW that's really cool, is they really did a lot of, they took the time to put in a lot of detail, like putting in a collision detection on the branch here. And I'd be able to literally, in WoW, if I saw a tree that looks like this, I guarantee you I'd probably be able to walk out onto that branch, but here I can't. But you can see I can walk on these rocks. Will I be able to jump on this? Probably not. Oh no, I can't. See, that's good. And these things are really stupid, and they seem really simple. I mean, like really, like maybe not important, but they just make the world feel more real. You know, hey, this pole's actually here. I can actually jump on it. You know, that's just a nicety. It's a really nice thing to have. Rift, as you can see, cool little cloth dynamic. They have really cool cloaks in this game, and there's somebody running on up. So there's obviously somebody in the world. There's an enemy, and now what I was talking about was the macro system. And you can see, I've got a macro here that has, I'm suppressing macro failures. So I'm actually casting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, look at all these spells. Casting all these spells. I've got cast focus retaliation. So this is if I have a focus. And then cast last target. And then cast stand tall, and then cast shield. So I've got all these things going on in this macro. And so I can go up to somebody and just spam this macro, right? Watch this. And all I'm doing is clicking one button. And so even though Rift has quite a few skills, you can actually simplify it if you want with some macros. But I can use my individual abilities by using the buttons. Here I can do, let's see, I'm trying to think. I've got a really cool charge ability there. There's a taunt, I think. Oh, another thing that Rift has that's really cool is they have really cool, really cool staggers and really cool death animations. Like when you kill something, the way they die is really cool, and some of them are like really unique. Like there's some spiders you kill, and how the spiders, like the animation of the body crumbling to the ground in death, and they even do like a death throw where it like shakes violently kind of at the end as it's dying. And that's just, that attention to detail is really what a lot of MMOs don't have. And Rift actually has that. And when Rift came out, they advertised it as the WoW. They actually straight up were advertising themselves as the WoW killer. So they really wanted to be. And they were, there were some things about Rift that weren't good, but they're usually like more on stability. Like the servers aren't as smooth as they could be. And I don't know, it's hard to... There weren't a lot of bad things initially. The game was really, really good, in fact. When it first came out, I thought it was a fantastic MMO, and I still think it's a fantastic MMO, even as old as it is. As you can see, I've got quite a few different abilities here. Lights Hammer. I throw a hammer. I've got this ability, Offensive Blast. So that's the other thing that's really cool in Rift is you have a lot of... You can be like a melee character that has like ranged abilities, and that's what's so cool about the soul system in Rift. Is this is my soul tree, and I'm my main soul is Paladin, so I'm basically kind of a Paladin, but I also have Tempest, and the Tempest gives me ranged abilities because the Tempest is a master of lightning and electricity, so that gives me a few abilities that I like to use, like this Offensive Blast, which is something I can cast at range, and then I have some other stuff like Skyfall, and this is just I have it. I think is it a buff? Let's see. Deals air damage. Well, no, it actually, I think it's a finisher. Is it a finisher? Yeah, so when I build combo points, the different abilities build combo points. So this is actually a finisher. And you can see my typical way of key binding things in a game is if I use like A, the finisher naturally would be Shift A. Yeah, that's just, or if I had an ability that comboed into another ability for some sort of added benefit, I use the keys, I key bind them in a way that it makes sense. Like A, the next ability that comboed off of A would be Shift A, you know. Same thing here. I've got D, Shift D. So I'll show you here. A. And you can see I still have the 3 combo points. So now I'm going to do my Shift A. And it brings down a bolt of lightning from the sky that just annihilated thing. And the other thing that's cool, notice I got a quest. Like, notice I picked up a quest just automatically. So Rift has dynamic quests, and it was one of the first MMOs that had a dynamic questing system and had dynamic events, which is really cool, right? Look at that! I just built up my 3 combo points, did my combo finisher, and apparently my combo finisher has an AOE effect to it because it killed both mobs. And I'm also, I think, Skinner, so. Oh, maybe I'm not. I thought I was. Oh, I used to be. Maybe one of my other characters is. Let's see what abilities do I have. I don't even know what this is. Skills. I don't have a keybind for these, which is kind of sucks. Motivational roar. Okay, so I roar and gives me a buff. And then I've got some, you know, I always put my Rift has a lot of buffs. You can see I've got 3 different individual buffs that last for an hour. See, and almost every class has these types of buffs. So that's why it's really useful to have a variety of classes in your groups, because you're going to get all those different buffs. And then here's my heal. So if I go up and it suddenly just got. Holy crap. This thing just shot up a beam into the sky. See that? And it just got creepy dark outside. That was pretty cool. And there's this creepy like laughter in the background. So, look at that sky. That is so cool. That is really cool. I don't know who's crying, but somebody is. Okay, we'll do a little bit of mining. That's some creepy laughter we got going on. Like I can even do that with my finisher at great range. Wow. Okay, the world is changing rapidly. I've never seen the world change so quick. So there must be some sort of weird event going on or something. So yeah, probably play Rift. I think Rift is a game I'd like to play. Now Rift, you know, this week maybe. Final Fantasy, probably not so. Final Fantasy is just a lot more involved because it's more around this main story, and I just don't think I'm really in the mood to deal with reading a lot of text. What I like about Rift is I can just explore the world and just kind of ride around, and the world's really cool. And you can see I haven't even been to a lot of the areas of the world. I've never been. Like, there's so many zones in Rift I've never even been to. Like, I've never been here, level 65. I've never been here. A lot of these areas I've never been to. I mean, look, I've explored such a small amount of the map. I've never been to Ember Isle. So I really would like to play Rift and explore all this before they shut the game down, because we don't know when Rift's gonna. I thought they would have shut Rift down a long time ago, Yeah, we just don't know. I believe there were some layoffs with Rift, I think, fairly recently. So that, which is not good, obviously. It's a game that I wish more people would play, because it's really good. It's a really, really good game. They have a system in the game called some sort of adventure system, and it's kind of, I'm not really a huge fan of the system, and like if you look at my money here, I've got 518 platinum. When I first played which is a ton, when I first played the game, like just getting 1 platinum took a long time. And then when they finally added this new system to the game, which was called the, let's see if we can find it. I don't know, I'm trying to find it. Oh, where is it? World events. Here, looking for Karoo. I don't know if this is it, if this is what I'm thinking of. I don't think it's not this. It's called like Adventures or something. I'm not finding it. It's basically like a group finder, but it's like a raid. You're finding like a raid, and it's like once they added that into the game, it's like you constantly just get these queues, and you get, the thing about them is you get so much damn money. Like you get crazy amounts of money, like way money than the amount of money I'd get doing like 3 hours of doing these like raid queues is more than I ever got in all the hours I'd played the game previously. Like I mean, I played the game for like 3 months or something, and then I'd go do these random queue things, and I'd make more money than the 3 months that I played the game. So it's ridiculous. It's crazy. So. Alpha Howler. What is this one? Stuns up to 5 enemies. Even stunned the squirrel. And this is one of the biggest features of Rift, and it's basically rifts. So as you walk through the world, you see these rifts, and they're really cool looking. I mean, look how awesome this is. And there's different kinds of rifts. There's elemental rifts, flame rifts, air rifts. This looks like some sort of earthy like rift. And once you go in, it'll start an event, and you have to kill all the mobs here. You can pick up these crystals and it'll give you a damage buff. It'll give you a mana buff. Apparently I'm OP. Stage completes. What makes it popular? This game isn't very hard to anybody plays this game no more. Are you looking at the final? You're thinking Final Fantasy. This is not Final Fantasy. We were playing Final Fantasy, and then right before I logged off Final Fantasy, I jumped into Rift. This is Rift. Ooh, stage complete. Rift sealed. So the rifts used to be really difficult. Now, obviously, they're not. That was super easy. But yeah, Kirill, this is not Final Fantasy. This is Rift. I was playing Final Fantasy. You have to go earlier in the stream. We were playing Final Fantasy. I was just showing people that what Rift is like, and I may play some Rift this week just to explore the zones I've never explored in the game. We may play some Final Fantasy as well. I'm just kind of jumping around playing different games, just because I'm kind of bored of WoW right now. So. I don't remember this building even being here before. Big building I'm seeing in the distance. I don't recognize this. Maybe I have been here. I think I have been here actually. I take that back. Not gonna let me go up this way though. There's another rift, fire rift. another thing I really like about Rift is how you can get these dynamic quests, and when they complete, you complete them. Like, you get the little icon shows up on the screen, you interact with it, you get your quest rewards. It's really actually a really nice system. Because it's just saying, hey, you've found this area. If you kill these guys, I mean, it's kind of maybe not the best from a story point of view, but it's still pretty cool. And there's all these little things in the world you can find. These guys. These are just collection items. You can collect them, and then there's a collections book. I don't remember how to get to it. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know where it's at though. Maybe it's under inventory. You have a lot of stuff in your inventory. Rifle of the challenge. Looking for crafting ingredient. Anyways, it's a good game. I mean, I think as far as MMOs go, Rift, I definitely would put Rift probably. I think it would make my top 10 MMO list. I think it's definitely in the top 10. I'd have to think. I mean, but I definitely think it's worthy of a top 10. So. But I think what I'll do is. Let me go back. Where's my other character at? Oh, here they are. Here's my bard. Cool, very cool looking little ranger looking character. I think I would like to do another playthrough Rift where I start from level 1 again, just kind of and play a completely different character. I don't know which class I'd go with, but if you go to the character creator here. Okay, I thought I went to the character creator. Well, we'll do it some other time. I gotta get to bed, it's late, but here's the main city. Sanctum, I think. Is it Sanctum? Yeah, Sanctum. And here's like kind of the crafting area where you craft stuff. And you can see, like when I walk through, this is a player. I'm just seeing if there's any players. Here's another player, 2 more players. Actually, is that 1 player? Yeah, it's 1 player because it's a pet. So we see at least 2 players. And then I think if I could pull up the guild list. Here we go. Here's social. Here's some friends that I had. Say, here's my mount. Okay, oh, I'm in Pantheon. Oh, Pantheon Plus. Yeah, there was a time when we, some guys from Pantheon Plus got together and created a guild. And I'm gonna guess that they're probably, yeah. We actually had some fun though. That was actually a fun day. We got together and played with some of the Pantheon Plus guys. This is new. This Minions. I'm not sure what this is.
Select a minion. Click the button in the middle.
Weird. This almost looks like kind of like the system in WoW, the garrison system, where you have different characters that you send out on different missions. Like this one's, yeah, it's like World of Warcraft's garrisons. I selected a minion and I sent them on this tunnel to Earth strongholds, eliminate targets, and it's an 8 hours reward type. That's pretty interesting. I did not know that this is something new. I didn't know this existed. That's crazy. That's actually super crazy. I had no idea. All right, I'm going to bed. I'll talk to you guys later. Hope everybody's having a good one.